officers.
Thank you so much. You're all welcome. We have in our midst His Excellency Governor Sakaja Arthur Johnson, Governor of the City County of Nairobi. We have in our presence, in our midst, the Executive Mayor of Cape Town and the High Commissioner of South Africa to Kenya joining us, and the entire team and entourage from Cape Town and South Africa. We also have with us the Deputy Governor of the City County of Nairobi and the County Secretary of Nairobi City County, as well as County Executive Committee members and our advisors and chief officers in our midst. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is a very important and historic day. And I say historic because two important cities on the continent are coming together. And I call it historic because of one thing. History is not just a path left by the past, as we know, but we know that history by itself constitutes also footprints of actions of serious and important leaders in their time that will touch lives and transform a people and generations. Today, two very important cities are coming together. One, a very important city whose acts and influence touches to the Horn of Africa, Nairobi. And then the other, an important city on the continent that stretches to the coastlines, to the base of the continent, Cape Town. And we are very happy to have this historic event. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, Your Excellency, I would like to invite the County Secretary, Mr. Patrick Analo, to take over and preside over the rest of the ceremony.
Yeah, Your Excellency, the Governor, the great County of Nairobi, Excellency Deputy Governor, the Executive Mayor of Cape Town, the South African Ambassador to Kenya, and the entire South African entourage. Good morning. Good morning once more. As my colleague has indicated, this is a great day for these great cities of our continent. I had a chance to visit South Africa about 10 years ago, but I only landed at Johannesburg. But half of our discussion at Johannesburg was so much focused on Cape Town. I really wished to visit Cape Town, but I hoped to visit next time I'm in South Africa. So while there, we were told of great stories about Cape Town, and two things I remember. It's one of the well-planned cities in South Africa, and it shares also a common heritage with Nairobi, for example. Of a historical, there's a history of the colonial influence in terms of establishment of that city. The same applies for the city of Nairobi. And we also face almost similar challenges in terms of urbanization and urban development challenges, urban safety and security. So it cannot have come at a better time to hatch a city-to-city partnership between the city of Cape Town and the city of Nairobi, both great African cities. And we all know that the continent of Africa is the place of urbanization in the current century. So I think feel very much welcome. While at Joburg, I remember only one word. I remember the word Mukolo Wesizwe, which when I was being also ordained as a Zulu warrior, I was told And I have those photos. I looked at them last night when I knew we are receiving you today. Mokolo Wesizwe, I was told it means the spear of freedom. Is that right? Yeah, Mkonto Wesizwe. Yeah, forget my Bantu accent. Yeah, so welcome to Nairobi. And here we also say, Hakuna Matata, meaning that you're in a free society and we enjoy the city. So kindly allow me to welcome the Deputy Governor of the city of Nairobi to give his remarks. Welcome you to the great city of Nairobi also. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Nairobi City County, Governor Sakaja, the Executive Mayor of Cape Town, the Mother City, the High Commissioner of South Africa, Republic of South Africa to Kenya, distinguished guests, my colleagues in the executive in the county government of Nairobi, good morning. Mine is going to be short to invite the governor, but before I say that, I must say I'm happy to see you here and have fond memories of my relationship with South Africa because in my corporate life, I worked for Absa Bank. I was a chief operating officer in that organization, and therefore spent many hours and many days in Johannesburg and Cape Town as well. And Cape Town is a beautiful city. We had a chance to sample the various offerings that you have, the restaurants, the visits to the wine estates, enjoyable moments on the waterfront, and many other things, the beautiful stadium that you have in Cape Town, and many other things that I can talk about that reflect the great lifestyle of the people of Cape Town. So today, it's a very important day then for us when we are working to twin our two cities. It probably means the governor will allow me to visit more as we go and look for things to do there, because it's a beautiful experience when you visit the many attractions that you see in a city like that. And therefore, feel very welcome in Nairobi, feel comfortable with us, and I'm looking forward to more interactions and more visits between the two cities for different levels of our staff so they can learn from each other and be able to develop and grow the relationships. So with those few words, I'd like then to invite His Excellency, the Governor of Nairobi City County. Okay, I'm well guided. I think I'll hand it back to the MC so that you carry on with the rest of the event. Karibuni sana.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor. We're now getting to the next phase of this very important occasion. And because history by its nature must be registered in print, it now has come the time for the signing ceremony of this twinning agreement. I would like to have the county attorney guiding the process. We shall have His Excellency the Governor and the Executive Mayor who will in turn get to sign the agreements as it shall be witnessed by the parties. Once ready, the county attorney will indicate to me that it's now ready for signing. Yeah, His Excellency the Governor and the Executive Mayor, we shall have the High Commissioner of South Africa also in witness of the process. To the left of the governor, I would like to have the county attorney and the county secretary. To the left of the governor. Yeah, High Commissioner, please. James, okay. Yeah. Very historic moment for Kenya and Cape Town, sister countries, sister cities. This is a new dawn for these two cities. Yeah. We would like to congratulate His Excellency the Governor and His Excellency the Mayor for signing. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Thank you. So that has been great. Your Excellency, the Mayor, I would like now to welcome you to make some remarks. Karibu. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, the Governor of Nairobi County, Mr. Sakaja Johnson, Deputy Governor, Mr. Mushiri, County Secretary, Mr. Analo, my friend and former colleague, the High Commissioner for South Africa in Kenya, Mr. Mahlangu. Wonderful to see you again, sir. All of the Nairobi councillors and aldermen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute honor, a great honor for me to be here along with my delegation this morning. Mr. Governor, just to introduce you to who we have along with us, I have with me Alderman James Vos, who's the Mayoral Committee Member for Economic Growth in the City of Cape Town, Ms. Nolwandle Gliba, who is the Executive Director of Human Settlements, Ms. Fiona Stewart, who's a Special Advisor in my office, and Mr. Regan Matthys, who does International Relations in our office. And I'm also very, very proud that I'm joined by members of my own family here, Mr. and Mrs. Charlson, who are residents of yours, Governor, and ratepayers of yours. And afterwards they will have an opportunity to raise their concerns with you, I have no doubt. But it is a great honor and privilege to be here to sign, as we have just done on behalf of the people of Cape Town, this historic sister city cooperation agreement between our cities of Cape Town and Nairobi. Today marks the start of what I believe will be a lifelong partnership built on mutual respect, shared economic and political interest, and a genuine curiosity about one another's countries, cultures, and futures that can only leave us richer and more fulfilled. Let me also say, sir, how refreshing it has been to meet a counterpart from my own generation. In this line of business, as we all know, the average age is often decades above ours. And I was pleased, very pleased, to read about and to meet someone closer to my own age, for a change. When I look across at Governor Sakaja, I see a man with whom I have more in common than many other people I've met during my career in politics. Not only are we both considered young for the job that we hold, but we followed very similar paths to get here, sir. Both of us entered politics very early, having had a taste of it first at high school and then diving in fully at university. Both of us were sworn in as members of our country's parliaments while we were still in our 20s. You, Governor, have got one up on me in that you served in the upper house. I have not yet done that. I was a backbencher when I served with Mr. Matlangu. We both share a passion for youth leadership development, and we both believe our cities can and should stand at the forefront of innovation, sustainability, economic growth, and caring government. And I'm sure if I had time to spend more time with you, Mr. Sakaja, I would be able to rattle off a list as long as my arm of the things we have in common and the visions we share for our respective cities. This is my second trip to Kenya. I first came here 15 years ago to visit our family here, along with a young lady who is now my wife back home in Cape Town. And I regret that I've waited so long to come back. I also regret not having more time available during this trip to see even more of your city and your country. And I will certainly have to arrange another visit in the near future. Governor, it is said that you should always read contracts closely. You will have missed in the terms and conditions of the contracts that we just signed that it entitles me to come back as often as I like. And similarly, you are most welcome in Cape Town anytime you like. What I've seen in the very short time that I've been here this time has been an eye-opener. There are so many similarities between Cape Town and Nairobi that this city cooperation agreement feels like it was destined to be. Indeed, as the governor just asked me as we were signing, it's hard to believe this hasn't happened already. The opportunities for learning into the future are almost endless. Aside from the obvious physical similarities, both cities are roughly the same size in terms of population. Both are expanding, as the Deputy Governor has said, due to rapid urbanization. We also find ourselves on similar trajectories and on similar missions to be the undisputed economic and innovation hubs of our respective regions of Africa. Both of our regions are tourism giants on the continent, and both of our cities are considered gateways to our country's many attractions. Both Nairobi and Cape Town attract a very wide range of visitors throughout the year. Both cities have vibrant and well-serviced film industries, and yesterday we heard growing film industries. And both of our people are a little sport obsessed. Our local economies rely heavily on agriculture, and I'm glad, Deputy Governor, that you tasted the very best of that agriculture in Cape Town. And both of our cities have thriving finance and commerce sectors. It is clear that we are both on a mission to become even more globally competitive and to stand out amongst our peers as the most attractive and convenient places to do business in our regions. Against this backdrop of similarities and shared visions, the opportunities to exchange knowledge between us are immense, as are the opportunities to expand on the commercial links that already exist between our cities. Many Cape Town companies have a footprint here in Nairobi, and vice versa, and a range of products are exported in both directions. Kenya Airways already operates daily flights to and from Cape Town, and as we heard yesterday from the Chief Executive of Kenya Airways, Cape Town is their fastest growing route after COVID. So there is a fantastic foundation for partnership. But this is just the beginning. We can do so much more together. We can strengthen each other's tourism markets. We can collaborate with each other's film industries. We can double the trade between us. And our collaboration isn't only limited to commercial opportunities. We can also learn from one another. I know that Cape Town and Nairobi face many of the same challenges of government. We both are rapidly urbanizing cities in developing world contexts, and that pressure places enormous strain on city infrastructure, and not to mention the pressure of the provision of housing and the provision of dignified basic services to the many hundreds of thousands of residents in both of our cities that still live in informality and in poverty. Infrastructure expansion, the development of a wide range of affordable housing options, and the rollout of dignified basic services are among the top priorities of my administration, as we seek to make Cape Town resilient and able to withstand all of the pressure that the future has for us. These past 2 days, I've seen a city dealing with these exact same pressures and challenges, and doing so in ways that we haven't always thought of. I'm extremely grateful for this learning opportunity, and I'm sure that the members of my delegation have taken plenty of notes. I also know that Nairobi is committed to delivering clean and affordable energy to its residents, and that Kenya is a leading country in Africa when it comes to renewable energies. Given our own energy challenges back home and our own mission to make Cape Town energy secure, this is certainly an area where we can learn from our hosts and return with valuable insights. So already, Governor, this new partnership of ours has been beneficial. And so I say to the people of Nairobi and to you, Governor Sakaja, thank you for your wonderful hospitality and for showing us around this great city. We have learned an incredible amount in 2 short days. Of course, we would now love to return the favor and host you in Cape Town soon. May today be the start of a close bond between our cities, a bond that will see both cities prosper into the future. It is a source of great pride for us that the very first sister city cooperative agreement signed under our administration is with Nairobi. And in these troubled global times, it is my hope that both Nairobi and Cape Town will stand tall as centers of light, freedom, and democracy on the African continent, and that we will use our respective positions and influences to spread a message of peace wherever we can. So here is to a bright and prosperous future for all of the people of Nairobi and the people of the city of Cape Town. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Let me now welcome the High Commissioner of South Africa in Kenya to just briefly, I know I was to bring you here much earlier, but I was excited to want to listen to the Mayor first, so forgive me for that breach of order. Kindly just come and say a word.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, today, it's not my day. I'm here in Nairobi every day. I'll officially visit His Excellency the Governor. Today is the day of them both and our mayor in Cape Town. You didn't do anything wrong. I think everything is fine. Governor of Nairobi City County, Governor Sakaja, Deputy Governor of Nairobi City County, Executive Mayor of City of Cape Town, officials of the Nairobi City County, officials of City of Cape Town, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed. It is really my pleasure to be providing very brief remarks at this auspicious occasion of the signing of the cooperation agreement between the two cities of Cape Town and Nairobi. Our mayor has captured it so very well. I don't want to spoil the good that he said. I'm also very encouraged that this signing is taking place soon after President Cyril Ramaphosa's state visit in November 2022, and shortly thereafter, the regulations for visa-free access for Kenyans into South Africa entered into force. That was a great job, I think, that the two principals have actually done. We had to fight for that so that even the tourism that the mayor has been talking about could sort of be freed and Kenyans could travel very often to South Africa, and that has happened. This cooperation agreement is a practical manifestation of 3 levels of government working in harmony for the improvement of lives of our people. During the November 2022 state visit, a number of cooperation agreements were signed between various departments and are currently in the process of being implemented. This city-to-city twinning agreement is a first of its kind, like the mayor said, for the city of Cape Town and the continent. It outlines concrete areas of cooperation. The governor and to the governor and to the mayor, be assured of our High Commission's continued support in the implementation of some of the areas through our officials. I am pleased that the sector of human settlement is receiving sharp focus. You would recall that the President Ruto made a clarion call for South Africa to partner with Kenya in providing reasonable and affordable accommodation for the people of Kenya. I already had the first meeting with the Cabinet Secretary for Human Settlement, Land and Transport, if I'm not mistaken. There are many departments there. And we had very fruitful discussion with him in that regard. Furthermore, our Minister of Human Settlement will be leading the South African delegation, His Excellency Governor, that will be participating at the UN Habitat Summit in Kenya, which will be hosted next month in June. It will be a week summit. It starts on the 5th until the 9th of June. But the minister, of course, will be here prior than that to come and follow up on the other bilaterals between the 2 departments. The summit will consider multiple issues as well as proposed solutions to provide decent housing for the people of the world. In conclusion, I would like to once again congratulate the 2 cities for the foresight in fostering cooperation in areas of mutual interest. May your cooperation be long and fruitful and to the benefit of the dwellers of the cities. Thank you very much. I thank you.
Thank you, High Commissioner, Deputy Governor. I think kindly allow me now to bring you in to welcome the Governor. And next time he allows you to visit Cape Town, please carry me along.
No, I just heard it was in this finer print in that agreement, so it sounds like it's all in place. But without much further ado, I'd like now to ask us to stand so I welcome His Excellency the Governor of Nairobi City County, His Excellency Governor Sakaja.
Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Please let's be seated. Executive Mayor, Elderman, in Kenya we call our mayors worship. So your worship, Geordin, Lewis, and your delegation, Your Excellency the Ambassador, and the entire team, both from South Africa and those who are here locally, and the team from Nairobi County Government, good morning. It's a beautiful day. It's a historic day. And I was asking my colleague, because if I was here maybe a few years before the new constitution, I'd be a mayor as well. That's what we had here. I can't understand why this has never been done before. Nairobi and Cape Town, most natural allies, you know. But I'm happy we're the ones who've gotten to do it. So allow me first to introduce the members of my team, at least some of them who are here. I will start, of course, you've met the Deputy Governor, Njoroge Mushiri. We have our County Attorney, Lydia Kwamboka, our County Secretary, who is also here. We have a few of our CECs, who are our ministers, led by SG Mwangi. He's in charge of lands and housing and settlement and urban renewal, which is what we're focusing on. We have Susan Silantoi. She's in charge of customer service, public participation, and inclusivity. And also, she's the youngest minister in the country. at 29. She's also in charge of a very important docket for us, which is our school feeding program, where we are feeding all the children in public primary schools, giving them at least a meal each and every day, many of those who can't get fed. Of course, we have Mr. Kefa from Donor Relations, Intergovernmental Relations as well, and Donor Coordination. We have Ibrahim, he's a Chief Officer in charge of Environment. We have Bramwell, he's in charge of Disaster Management. We have Victor behind him in charge of our startups and the digital economy. Then we have a few members of our Council of Advisors. Mr. Fazul is in charge of, he's my political advisor actually. And I also advise him sometimes. We have George, is ICT advisor. We have Mutuma in the legal department. We have Larry from, he was in environment before, he's been in finance, but he's our economic advisor. And Dr. Samora, who is our health advisor. And Zipporah in charge of business and hustler opportunities. Yeah? We have a docket in charge of hustlers, just to get things moving. So it's such a pleasure, as I've said. Oh, Priscilla Mahinda, right ahead of me. She's the chief officer in my office, office of the, where? Oh yes, Maina in charge of planning is our advisor in planning. The team is big, I won't introduce everyone, but thank you. I can see Kisali also there, in charge of our fire department and many others. As I'm saying, it's a pleasure, really, to have this day. When I became governor, I never thought I'd meet a younger mayor or governor, but today I'm very proud that I have met a mayor of a great capital, or a great city in the continent, an economic hub, a cultural hub, who is of my generation and 1 year younger than me. So you guys now, you can clap for me as well. Because you always wonder why your governor is the youngest person in the room. And it's really encouraging. When I looked at your videos, your history, the journey you've taken, it's really inspiring. It reminds me of my own journey, which I'm taking. I think with us, we are still at the onset of our journeys, our respective journeys. I saw your speech at your party's Congress. It was really inspiring. And it was very interesting that beyond the similarities we shared when we spoke in my office for a few minutes, one is that in your earlier campaign, you spoke about hope for all, and that has been the mantra of our administration, to create a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunity for all of the people of Nairobi. And that colors and guides each and every interaction we do. Also, this is our first sister city agreement under our administration that we're signing. So just like you, this is our first, so it must work. This one must work, and we must make sure that we nurture this relationship between Nairobi and Cape Town. Now, Nairobi and Cape Town share a long and interesting history. Some of you might have heard about Ewart Grogan, a colorful character to whom we owe the Gertrude's Hospital, and after whom a street not far from here is named. He once walked from Cape Town to Cairo before eventually settling in Kenya. He went all the way and came back half the way and said he found the best place to settle. And he settled in Nairobi. He came from South Africa, and he is a part of the history of this city. This city has a lot of history. You have eldermen. We used to have eldermen. The room you're in was the council chambers. And eldermen met here, and the public who would be allowed here at the gallery up there were only those who owned land. Only those who were allowed to come in. Now all of us are here, and things have changed. We have hustlers in City Hall. In the century or so since Ewart Grogan did that great walk and walked back and settled here, the links of trade, of friendship, and of common purpose between Nairobi, our city, and Cape Town have only grown tighter. And I'm glad yesterday you met Alan and his team at Kenya Airways. Now we have, I think, 5 or so flights, some direct from Nairobi to Cape Town every single day. And we've lifted the visa restrictions. And that alone has increased our, the numbers, and I was speaking to Alan after you met him, by more than 20%. And he told me some of the asks he made and the discussions you had, and I would just like to reiterate them. Number one, we need to sell Cape Town, and you need to sell Nairobi. That we will talk about Cape Town and you will talk about Nairobi. We have more to gain together in all the areas of interest that we have, including tourism, that we can create a mega tourism circuit between both our countries that will attract people to come down to Cape Town, to come to South Africa, to come to the Masai Mara, to come to Nairobi, which I still hold and think is the only capital where in the most natural, untouched, unspoiled habitat of wildlife, you have the skyline of the capital at the Nairobi National Park. I hope you've had a chance, or you'll have a chance to visit that. Of course, Nairobi and Cape Town also have a shared interest in climate and climate action. As cities unusually vulnerable to extreme weather events, it is in our joint interest to work together to mitigate the worst effects of climate change for our people and to use our influence to build coalitions with other African cities so that Africa's voice can be heard when climate policy is made. I think we need to strengthen the voice of our continent, and I see in you a brother and a partner with whom we can bring our voice and our rightful place at the global table when we discuss climate. I'm glad you're also a member of the C40 Cities Network, and I have just last evening put in my application for one of the vacant positions of Vice Chair of the C40 to deputize the Mayor of London, because it's a position that is open now, and we feel that East Africa can get support from the southern part of Africa for this position. And I'm sure you will support your sister city. The second, of course, is the strategic position that our cities enjoy. Both our cities, as Javas was describing earlier, are hubs for our countries and for our regions alike, for business, for financial services, for transport and for logistics, for intellectual work and for culture. We can extend our advantage by working together. We can learn from each other's expertise, and I'm glad that you're a bigger sister, because you're an older city. And as Shakespeare says, wise is he who learns from the other's mishap. So where you went wrong, you can tell us, no, don't do housing that way. This worked, this didn't work. And also you can learn a bit from us. And the experience we have in certain sectors and the experience you have in certain sectors, we can avoid repeating the same mistakes, and we can cooperate instead of competing. There's much more for us to do. And as many before us, many of the leaders, the leaders of our nations have impressed upon, Africa must do more together. Geographically, we have been blessed by God. We had nothing to do with it. You didn't put Cape Town where it is. I didn't put Nairobi where it is. From wherever it is in the world, you can get to Nairobi in such a short time. 5 hours from Dubai, 8 hours from London, 13, 14 hours from New York. And you can hop down to Cape Town in a few hours. Let us take advantage of that. There are several cities in Europe with far less advantages, but have leveraged on just the thinking and the inspiration of the leadership they have. I think it's time that Africa's new generation of leaders think beyond the limitations that were set there before us and to think bigger. Another area of cooperation, of course, tourism and travel. We have seen opportunities. When we got into office, and we've been in office for a short while, we held very strongly, and we still do, that unlike your country, we may not have minerals, we don't have gold, oil, we don't have diamonds. Our greatest resource is above the ground. It's our people. And we feel that a city is more than just brick and mortar. It is the culture and the vibe. And so a few months into office, we started the Nairobi Festival. And our target, what we want to be like, is the Cape Town Jazz Festival. So we hope that we can partner and work on certain aspects together to see how to create cultural events between our capitals and between our cities that then bring the world. The Cape Town Jazz Festival and all the festivals you have attract thousands. And that has helped your entertainment industry. We've grown up listening to Kwaito, and we've listened to, all the music that is there now. I don't know, what do you call it now these days? Is it Amapiano or what? Yes, and all of that. Extremely famous in Nairobi. Sports, we grew up on Bafana, and rugby. Kenya has been a rugby powerhouse as well. In sevens rugby, we thrashed you guys recently. Unfortunately, we've since been relegated. But we will be back, and we will be back strong. But, I love rugby. I played rugby as well. And, you know, he also played rugby. You know, that's another similarity between us. And so I think this is the most natural partnership between our countries. You know, let's build new arrangements so that we can share expertise and we can remove every remaining obstacle of the free flow of people, goods, skills, and services between our cities. And I want to thank the Excellency Ambassador and your colleagues, even from this side, from Kenya, for the, you know, historic action that was taken between our presidents of making sure that our people can move freely. You know, I keep giving this example of the predicament in our continent, is that of once, if you've, you know, raised or herded goats before, and you tether one to a tree for an hour or 2 hours, even when you remove the rope, it stays within that circumference. And for a long time, our continent has been separated by imaginary lines that were not drawn by us. They're not natural to us. Our languages are similar, our people are experienced, but we still stay confined in those imaginary spaces. Let's lift those barriers, and Africa must trade with Africa. As this partnership grows stronger, we can expect more areas of cooperation to open up. We can look forward to even further improvement in those that we've begun. I'm very happy about the issue of settlement and housing. We're really big on that. The national government is doing a lot in that regard, and so are we as a county government. We are redeveloping 9 estates, and we're just about to award redevelopment and just reimagining how our cities should look like. And I'm very happy that during the UN Habitat Assembly, we'll be hosting mayors from across the world. So you and I, now sister cities, will be hosting the mayors here. I know you'll bring South African products of your agriculture as we host them for dinner, and just to, you know, reimagine and recalibrate our interaction and our engagement, and to build such coalitions. For today, however, let me leave it at that, because we have a lot of engagements coming forward. I'm looking forward to learning about what you've done in your waste to energy management, in your solid waste management. I just asked you about your stadia. We are keen on that because sports is big. We have a lot of projects that we're doing, and so you have found somebody who's going to keep bugging you on your phone every now and then, because the Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so does man sharpen man. So it is a pleasure to host you, to rekindle our friendship with Cape Town, and to prepare for a new, stronger partnership in the months and years to come. Danke, asante sana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency the Governor. I think now is a moment to exchange some gifts between our two sister cities. Priscilla. Welcome.
So, Mr. Governor, a local pottery artist in Cape Town who has built a tremendously successful business, and you will see why in a second, because of her remarkable talent, has hand-painted these set of plates about the city of Cape Town for you to display. And you will see that they have our famous mountain, they have our stadium and our city, and there's another one in there, and hopefully these will have pride of place in your office.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to give you something that you can keep with you everywhere you go. As I explained earlier, Nairobi was a railway depot. And that is how our city started. And this is the oldest sign that is found still in the city, talking about the altitude. It's an altitude marker, 54, 53 feet above sea level.
This is why your athletes run so well.
Yes, that's why we run so well. And we say Nairobi is a city where your altitude determines your attitude. You know, rather your attitude determines your altitude. Yes. So what you think about it. So these are photographic slices. It will tell you the story of Nairobi from pre-independence, before it became a city. You know, you can see 2,678 miles to Cape Town, and all of that marked here, to the present day Nairobi and the things you're grappling with, the beauty of the city, etc. So I'll sign this for you. I hope you can keep it on your desk and in your office. And when I come to Cape Town, I'll also bring you another gift that can only be had there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so Your Excellency, Governor and Mayor, we can now have some photo session here and also outside at the banner, and then we'll come back here for some technical presentations. We have also organized for you a lunch at
Nairobi, in our efforts to ease our service provision and payment for services that you need from the Nairobi City County Government, we bring to you Nairobi Pay.
Whether you're an individual, company, partnership, association, or legal entity, Nairobi Pay is made for you.
Through the portal,